It's Media Day in Athens. Hi, everybody. I'm Russ Eisenstein. Rob Cornelius joins me. Welcome back inside Peden Stadium, where we're getting set for Ohio football 2015. Always fun to meet with the coaches and the players, Rob. And one thing that we found out is this group is not immune to change.
No, they're tanned, rested, ready, but they're also ready to make changes. Remember the switch to the root and toot and pistol a few years back? Now they're going to change the way they do practice, do contact. Frankly, injuries last year has been an issue. You want to prevent that and nip that in the bud right now.
Yeah, you could say a lot of things about Frank Solich. So many positives in his coaching career. Just continues to do it at a very high level. And one thing that most certainly you could say about him is he's not afraid to go out, solicit advice, make some changes, and implement them in his program.
We have reached out to a number of other schools, to a number of other coaches. Myself reached out to a number of head coaches, just wanting to try and grab information across the board that maybe would have a chance to make us better. The idea is to be an outstanding football team, not only as you work your way through the beginning of your year, but to be able to maintain that and be an outstanding football team at midseason and be playing your best football at the end.
And the change really is important. 6-6 in bowl eligibility is just fine, considering all the years prior to the Solich era, where you've had bright spots some, but unfortunately more losing than winning. The great thing is you don't want to stay pat at 6-6. You want to get back to just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and a couple of years ago, this team was at a very, very high level, ready for MAC championships. That's where they want to be again. And you go outside, this coaching staff is not going to stay in place. They're going to go learn from other big conference teams.
Now, let's take a look at the numbers standpoint first. This offense needs to get more explosive. 370 yards on average for an average of 20 points per game last season. When Ohio really has clicked, they've put up big plays and put up big points in a lot of ball games. That needs to change this year.
Yeah, a lot of plays of plus 20, plus 25 yards, explosive plays that Coach Solich keeps talking about. And last year, frankly, this team was not good enough through the air over the top, which meant running A.J. a lot of times, 25, 30 times a game. I don't think you'll see too many backs with 30 carries, hopefully in a game this season.
Offensive coordinator Tim Albin says that the mantra for this season and the directive for this season really started at the end of the Miami game last season.
The bottom line is we didn't score enough points last year. That's all we've talked about. That's how I challenged him when we started spring ball, when we finished it going into summer. That was the first thing out of my mouth when I stood in front of him after Coach got done when we started fall camp, because the point production's got to go up.
You have to score more points, most certainly. And the thing about last year, Rob, was we weren't sure who those playmakers were going to be. Now they're more developed. Now there's another year of experience. And we think that there are guys that we know from last year that can make that progression for more big plays and more points this year.
No, and you return virtually all of your top receivers. You return a tight end who's bigger and better. And even O-line that, albeit very young, is very experienced together. Growing pains, you hope they're done with them last year, because right now this is a very deep group.
And, of course, at Media Day, we won't know about the starting quarterback situation. There is that battle that's going on, and that's a good thing moving forward. We won't know that official final winner until the week of the Idaho game, I would imagine. But you never know. Somebody might come out to the forefront. But the good news is you have a couple of guys that have experience.
Yeah, competition. Obviously, you look at J.D., you look at Vic, and obviously Greg Wynn's been thrown out there as well. 3 guys who the coaches hopefully all trust by that last Thursday in August, first Thursday in September.
When you take a look at the defensive side of the football, 5 of the top 6 tacklers returned from last season. That's right around 300 tackles, 30 for loss, and just over 10 sacks combined. This is an experienced unit with a lot of playmakers, a lot of speed, and last year they allowed around 24 points per game. They might be even better this year.
Yeah, you'd like to get that down to 20, 21. I think they make everyone happy. Keep the opponent to 3 scores in this ultra-offensive era. Linebackers very fast. Remember, Chad Moore is a 4th guy there, is what they're telling us today. And obviously DBs, a lot more depth. For once, this group is maybe least experienced up front.
Yeah, the linebacking core is really good and could be the best in this league. Javon Johnson, Blair Brown, and others. This is a group with Quentin Poling in the mix too that can be very, very good. The great thing about this, with the experience and the numbers back from last season, coordinator Jimmy Burrows says they might be able to take some chances and gamble because they have the feel that this is a unit that is talented enough to do that.
We were going for simplicity last year and installing a new defense, and we're still going to try to be not complex, but again, our experience and our speed does open up some things that we can do more of.
So really, based on what we heard at Media Day, based on what we know of this ball club, all of the things that they want to accomplish, improvement from last year, keeping some of the good things going, we heard the things that we want to hear that gives you reason to believe that, yeah, they're right.
Yeah, the core is really good. Their offensive front's good. Tim Albin really believes in those running backs. I'm sure we'll talk about all 6 of them more as we go in through the rest of August. But there's a lot of hope here, a lot of upside, and a lot of folks here think they can be a lot better than 6-6.
Finally, we'll have a scheduled feature coming up on Bobcat TV for you as well. But just broad strokes from the non-conference standpoint, of course, it opens up at Idaho, a team that's picked near the bottom of the Sun Belt Conference. Ohio has seen them before. Also beat New Mexico State in previous years, too. Week 2 is Marshall, a ball club that may have a ceiling as high as 12-0, maybe on the bottom end of that, 8-4. They're at the top of the league again in Conference USA. Don't sleep on Southeast Louisiana, a ball club that's picked in the top 3 of the Southland Conference. The Lions out of Hammond, Louisiana, that's near New Orleans. They've been in the playoffs before at 1AA. And then you take a look at the Big Ten game, and that's an improved Minnesota ball club. Jerry Kill, the former head coach at Northern Illinois and Southern Illinois, has done great things in the Twin Cities. This is a manageable non-conference schedule that will challenge this ball club a little bit, and it lines up for the rest of the MAC season, too.
I think the downside 2-2, the upside 4-0, but Ohio's gone to Minnesota and won this game before.
Yeah, you were there for that.
It was a good one. Chad Brinker had his career day, and then I got his job.
Yeah, well, hopefully it all works out one more time. Unfortunately, though, the Twins are not home the night before that ball game against the Gophers.
Never are.
Well, it should be a lot of fun. 2015 Ohio football. That's another media day that we have covered for you as well. Thanks to Tanner Smith for his good work. Now for Rob Cornelius. I'm Russ Eisenstein from Peden Stadium in Athens. This is Bobcat TV.